Morning.
Let me try again. Good morning.
Morning.
Rich, I have dubiety of the word dubiety. I don't even know what it means. But I hope that counts.
I don't think my Jersey accent can pronounce it.
Thank you for that. Before dubiety, okay. Before we proceed with the meeting, please silence your cell phone. And we are going to call this meeting Lake Mary Toastmasters Club 6440 to order. I would like to ask everyone to stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. Our club mission is to provide a supportive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communications and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Please help me welcome this morning our Toastmaster, Julia Kaufman.
To each and every one of you in 2015. Very happy to be here and be your Toastmaster for yet again. I'm excited. This is 2 times in a row. So I chose Miracle Mornings because I heard the book mentioned. I believe it was by Ernst. You mentioned it. And also, Hadi, didn't you say you also thought highly of the book? And when I hear 2 great speakers mention a book, it will perk my interest to make sure that I buy the book. So I bought the book about 3-4 weeks ago and started reading it. And I can't recommend it highly, or any more highly than they had.
There's a bit of dubiety in that statement.
I picked it on purpose so I could use the word dubiety in the sense that this is not a dubious book. This book has a great message, and I'm implementing its steps. It talks about, this book by Hal Elrod talks about lifesavers, and it's how you wake up in the morning and focus on what your life purpose is and how you implement and structure your life so that you can be and do the things that you want to accomplish in life. And it gives you those handrails on how to implement it. It's well written, easy to apply, and I'm going to talk about the different lifesaver activities that you can apply in your mornings. Again, I highly recommend you purchasing this book if you are looking to change your lifestyle, or as Rich mentioned about starting New Year's resolutions and sticking to them. This book will help you do that. It talks about these lifesavers, and the first one is, it's an acronym for, the first one is silence. And having meditation the first thing that you get up in the morning and use, whether it's prayer or meditation or thought or breathing, that will help you get started in having a miracle morning and followed by a miracle day and life. Let's get started. We have a nice lineup today with 2 great speakers. But let's talk about our technical table first this morning. And we have our all-counter position that's not going to be, yes it will be Lamar. Welcome Lamar. Can you tell us your role as all-counter?
You ever caught?
No.
Yes, I will give you the card.
Yeah, done that one.
Yes, it is. Oh, there you go. It's on the back.
Okay. So my role as ah counter, my function is to listen to useful filler words such as you know, so, okay, and other audio pauses as fillers. I will be noting if members perform any double punches, which means to say things twice, such as this means. Finally, I will also include things which might be distracting, such as lip smacks. I will present my report during the evaluation portion of the meeting.
Thank you, Lamar. Filling in as repeat this year, he did double duty last week and did an amazing job with it. As grammarian, please welcome Rich Massa.
function to select words of the day to help build members' vocabularies. Each member, when called upon to speak, is encouraged to use the word of the day. Other members may gently rap on the table. Okay, that's what it says.
Oh, you
Just
can
rap.
rap.
So you guys, if you want to rap, feel free. I like Wu-Tang personally. When they hear a member use the word, present the word, it's dubiety. The state, I think that's how you pronounce that. The state or quality of being doubtful. In addition, I will be listening for any errors in grammar, as well as excellent word selections. I will also be noting any colorful thoughts or phrases members might use. During the evaluation portion of the meeting, I will present my report.
Awesome, thank you, Rich. Filling in as our timer, Juliana Debler, thank you.
Good morning and Happy New Year. I will be your timer today. I will admit I am in a state of dubiety because this is my first time, so I have my handy dandy notes. But to sum things up, I will be holding up the green, the yellow, and the red flashcards on 1 minute intervals for your speeches, depending on how much time you have left and how much time is allotted for your individual speech. And I also will be holding up the green when you're at 30 seconds for our table topics. You'll get green at 30, yellow at 45, and red when you're at 1 minute. And for evaluators, I'll be holding up the green card at 2 minutes, yellow at 2.5, and you get the red at 3, which means you better hurry up. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Juliana. For your notes, we have 2 speakers with 10-minute speeches. However, Gus is needing 3 minutes for Q&A. So you'll hold your card up at 6, 7, and 8. No, 5, 6, 7. And then,
two and a half, and
so
3.
that's noted there for you, although it is a total of 10 minutes, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Juliana. So in Miracle Mornings, the author, Hal Elrod, he's a motivational speaker and life coach. And if you are interested in looking at this book and him as a motivational speaker, especially as Toastmasters, YouTube his name and you'll hear how he speaks. He's amazing. Sam, you reminded of me. You have, and Hadi, I was like, wow, these guys are at this level already. So I see you guys as motivational speakers. Just, you weren't here last week and you missed out some great speeches. Anyways, he wrote about Miracle Mornings, on how you wake up each day and your morning routine dramatically affects your levels of success in every single area of your life. And I have started implementing that, and I can already, I'm only on day 10, I can already tell a difference in how I feel, body, mind, and soul. I feel good. I have more purpose. I think about what my day is going to be like. It really is amazing. I can't, it's something I know that I will implement lifetime. I know I will. It makes me feel that good. Anyways, let's start out with our first speaker this morning. It's the start of 2015, and our first speaker, Hadi Nosir, is giving his 10th speech today.
Number 10.
What did I say?
It's my 5th.
I said 10.
He's doing them out of order. He's doing project
out of
number.
Oh, okay.
I'll get up there.
Still, he's on fire. He's on a roll. And as we kick off the new year, hi Paul. As we kick off the new year and look forward to achieving our goals and resolutions, Hadi will endeavor to make our hearts come alive. Please welcome to the lectern, Mr. Hadi Nosir.
Can't believe it, Simon exclaimed to me. He was standing up now, vivaciously. A sense of wonder was emanating from his eyes. But just moments earlier, Simon was sitting in his office, a sense of sadness on his face. You know, Hadi, he told me, when I was 14, I just moved from England, and I was here in middle school. I had no friends. I wasn't popular in school, and I didn't have any girls in my life whatsoever. But when I went back to England, and I saw my older brother. He taught me something, and I practiced it every day. And when I came back to the US, the girl I was thinking of came and sat right next to me in the back of the class. What was this thing that Simon's brother taught him? What was this power, as I call it? This power is no secret at all. We all know it. It's a concoction of three things. A concoction of visualization, faith, and action. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guests, this year, I want to ask you a very, very important question. What is the one thing that would contribute most significantly to your life? What is the one thing that your heart yearns for? I want you to write that down. There's a white note card in front of you. I'm going to talk about 3 things we can do to make achieving that one thing easier. First off, visualization. What we think, we create, said Buddha. I stole that from Rich.
Sure.
Imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions, said Albert Einstein. I want you to visualize right now. Visualize having that one thing that you thought of. Visualize taking a baby step toward it. Do that right now. The next thing I want to talk about is faith. Just take the first step in faith, Martin Luther King said. You don't have to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step. And as Jesus said to his disciples, verily I say unto you, if ye have faith as a grain of mustard seed, ye shall say unto this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. What can you do to develop the faith that you can achieve that dream? What can you do to develop the faith that you can at least take that baby step toward your dream? Thirdly, I want to talk about action. We don't have to see the whole staircase. We can just take a baby step. If we take one baby step every single day toward that dream, how many baby steps would we have taken in a year? 365. How many would we have taken in 20 years? Over 7,000. Even a drunkard can walk across the room with 7,000 steps. But I know it's hard. As you look at what you wrote down, what reason do you have for not achieving it? Is it that you don't have enough time? You don't have enough money? You're too old? You're too young? You're too smart? You're too stupid? It's scary. You're too confident. What reason do you have for not achieving that dream? Who's seen The Wolf of Wall Street here? Raise your hand.
Who's not?
Well, Jordan Belfort, the real life Wolf of Wall Street, said, the only thing stopping you between you and your goal is the bullshit thinking you keep telling yourself as to why you can't achieve it. And as Ernst told us earlier, get rid of that stinking thinking. I'll share with you a personal story. It's February 3rd, 2013. I'm driving and I'm on the phone with my dad. Dad, I want to get my residency, my US residency, by June 3rd, the day before my mom's birthday. Because that way, if I get it, I can share with her a great message as a birthday gift. March 2013. I submit my application for residency. I have been in the US for 8.5 years, and I am frustrated that I had to shut down the startup that I created because I wasn't allowed to operate it as an international student. I have been living in fear that if I get kicked out of my PhD program, I have to go live in some country that I barely know that I'm a minority. And I am constantly planning my escape. What happens if I have to leave? Should I go to Germany? Australia? I have some friends in the UK. Constantly planning escape routes. It's now May 2013. Please report to us on June 3rd, 2013 to find out about your residency. Now, I had been visualizing getting my residency over and over for several months. I had been praying about it continuously. God, if you're out there, please give me my residency. Was this June 3rd real? The exact date I wanted? Was this real? Was this some higher power playing a joke on me? June 3rd, 2013. Welcome to the United States of America. Tears are rolling down my face. It's surreal. I can't believe it. My 8 years of struggle are finally over. On the exact date that I wanted. That dream that you have written down, is it worth a few minutes of visualizing every day? Is it worth developing a bit of faith every day? Is it worth taking one baby step every day? Imagine yourselves in the future, sitting on a comfortable chair by a warm fireplace. You're looking back in an introspective mood. That day on June 6th, 2015, that dream that I wrote down, I visualized it every day. I built my faith every day. I took action on it every day. And now, the dream has become real.
Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Hadi. Joanna, can we have 1 minute on the timer for our formal evaluations? Please, everyone, you have the formal evaluations to prepare and provide to Hadi's speech. Thank you. The biggest adventure you can ever take is to live the life of your dreams. Kind of that Oprah Winfrey said that, and that kind of validates what your speech just spoke about. So in the Miracle Morning, it talks about those lifesavers that you can implement every morning to follow your dreams. And I mentioned silence, which is through meditation, prayer, reflection, or deep breathing, and gratitude. You can incorporate that type of silence 5 minutes each morning. The second letter in the acronym is affirmations. It's that repetition of affirmation that leads to belief. Once that belief becomes a deep conviction, things begin to happen. That was said by Muhammad Ali. Sting like a butterfly. Sting like a bee. Our second speaker today is Gus Davies, and he's completed Toastmasters Competent Communicator and Storytelling Manuals. Gus serves as our VP of Membership, and he is working on the Competent Leadership and Speaking to Inform Manuals. His speech today, Chosen, Not Taken, is project number 4 from the Speaking to Inform Manual. You'll have an opportunity to ask questions after his speech. Chosen, Not Taken is about traffickers and their narrow target to lure young and younger victims. American youth find themselves engaged in a battle that they never prepared for. Talk to your kids before traffickers do. And to tell you more about traffickers, please welcome to the lectern Mr. Gus Davies.
In the year 1883, in the Parliament of London, William Wilberforce, it was July the 26th of that year, declared the abolition of slavery. Today, in 2014, we have over 20 million modern-day slavery. Do you know that in your city, in your county, in your state, and the nation of America, we have over 11 million modern-day slavery? Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests, I want to report to you about the facts that have been put together that can be verified about what we call modern-day human trafficking. The goal of this is that you will receive an awareness, and there will be actions, little things that you can do, so that you don't leave this place and just think it's just a dubious group of people doing that.
I don't know.
And that didn't count. But what is human trafficking? What is human trafficking? It's when people are forced, coerced, by fraud and deception into activities that they would not want to be involved in. Two types of trafficking that are very common. We talk about forced labor. If you live in Florida really comes home to us. Forced labor and human trafficking is very prevalent in our states. You can drive from here on, if you take 436 north, before you get to Apopka, you will see what forced labor human trafficking is doing. If you go down south on the I-4 corridor, or west we'll call it, you will also be able to see people who are forced into labor, migrant workers that come into our state. Second type of human trafficking is sex trafficking. Florida actually has ranked number 2 in the United States, probably behind Texas and New York, in sex trafficking. So this really comes close to home, what we do here every day. And these two types of human trafficking are so prevalent in the United States that 23% of all of the 12 million people, 23% of those are involved in human trafficking, labor trafficking, and the rest are sex trafficking. It goes on right around here every week. Actually, this month of July and this weekend we're in, it's really considered the weekend of human trafficking. We're holding several activities around town. We're part of what we call the Florida Abolitionists, and that is their focus is about what's happening in our states. So people are doing prayers, which is one of the dreams we can achieve, but there are other actions that are going to be taking place. On the 25th of January, there'll be a huge activity down Lake Eola, and you can Google and find those information. But sometimes when we think about human trafficking, we think these people are taking to do these activities. So, I'm sure many of you have watched the movie Taken. Anyone here? 1, 2, 3. You know, you watch the movie Taken, whether mom and daughter, Brian Mills, you know, whether they are in Paris or Istanbul. You know, you follow that Hollywood version of Taken. But when it really comes to human trafficking, people are not taken. They are chosen. This horrible crime of these victims, people meet them and present to themselves what they can do for them. Where does it go around? Here in Central Florida. Just because of my nature of my job and being involved in social action and compassion issues, here are some of the places you find them. Restaurants, hotels, where you go and do your nails, nail salon, spas. These are the places that the sex traffickers are there. And of course, there are the escort services that go on right in our city here. So in order for us to find these facts, some of my friends who work in that industry as professionals, they think if they take a pastor along, you will pray for them. But I just want to know. So I joined in some of the undercover operations and stuff. Very risky. Very risky. But you know, anyone who is in law enforcement, I trust those guys, right? I know what they have. I know I listen to them. What they tell me, I will do. So we've been involved in some of the activities here where we actually really have to go and do extraction. That is, they've been watching this place. These law enforcement people, FBI and others who are involved in this, they get all the facts together. And so when it is time, we move in. I mean, if you know that one of the wealthy areas here in Orlando is Baldwin Park, right? We have friends there. But that was the night of operations in Baldwin Park. Some of us gathered in another house just to socialize, have meals and drinks, and wait for the call. And so the vehicle pulls in, and you know, when you're working with these law enforcement guys, they are so high energy, I can't just catch up with them. Gus, middle seat, get there. You know, I'm sitting down there, all the Jesus I'm here. It's time to go. And it's loud, every language you want to hear in this world, you will hear it as we make this move. And pulled up to a house, I have to stay in my middle seat, 2 people here, all the setup there. And those guys will bust into this house. But what do I see as I sat in the vehicle, waiting? Down the street, Jaguars, SUVs, you know, high-end vehicles, top neighborhood, and just listening over on the communication that is going, that these people, that they are going to be getting out of this house so that we can get this young lady out. Are people who work in some of our Fortune 500 companies. And immediately, you know, the activity goes on very fast. Less than 18 minutes. You know, I'm very anal about those things. I'm watching my time from the time the guys got in the vehicle, and these guys are captured and put into another vehicle, taken by some of our social workers who will be doing the intake and different things. And I just wait for the other people to get back in our vehicle. My heart is racing. My heart is racing. I said, what's next? What's next? No gunfire, no nothing. And in that way, we're able to give life to people. Do you know that you can do something about this? Do you know that the boys and girls in your neighborhood could be victims of sex trafficking? They lure them by different activities. If it's the girls, they talk about romance, they talk about, you know, just beautiful things they can get for them, the promises of a life. But these pimps are heinous people, very wicked. So you can do something about this. On the 15th of January, we'll be showing the movie Chosen, so that you can talk to your kids before the pimps talk to them. So I want to invite you to that. I have a little handout here, and you can pass it out before I'll be able to take some questions about Chosen. It's a 20-minute documentary. We'll be showing it at Northland, and you're most welcome to come and be able to participate. On the back of that sheet are also some action that you can take. That is a hotline that you can call. There's a hotline you can call at any time. Oops, some of you have a blank on the back, eh? I am sorry if you do. A hotline that you can call if you notice any of these activities and in these places that these actions are going on. Modern day slavery is here. You and I, we can stop it. Madam Toastmaster, I'll take time for questions.
Well, we're at 10 minutes, actually. Sorry.
Gus.
We have time for
But yeah.
2 questions.
You want to do questions? All right.
First, what time is it?
What time is the seminar?
It's not on.
At 7 o'clock, if you go on to register,
7 p.m.
7 p.m., yes, yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
What do you do when the victim is of legal age, over 21, and they don't really want to leave? And who orders the extraction, their parents or family members?
You can.
Do you do this against their will? They say, I'm of legal age and this is what I want to do. And what do you do?
There are several actions you can take. You can be able to talk to those people, some of those that I have spoken to, either they're in Seminole County Jail or someplace downtown. We're able to tell them the dangers of what they're involved in. So it's being able to provide an environment where you can convince them of the evil of what they're doing, knowing that it's dangerous, what their pimp could do to you and to them. Madam Toastmaster.
Terrific, thank you. Can we have a minute on the clock for evaluations?
Absolutely.
Thank you. lifesavers is V for visualization. And again, Hadi mentioned that in his speech this morning. It's creating that mental picture of what you want to achieve. E is for exercising, and morning exercise should be a staple in your daily rituals, right, Rich? You exercise for even a few minutes every morning. It significantly boosts your energy, enhances your health, improves self-confidence and emotional well-being, and enables you to think better and concentrate longer. I'll mention the next two after our table topics portion, and our table topics master is Ms. Lori Richards.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Recently, I've been put into a position where I've had to go on job interviews. And job interviews are similar to table topics sessions. Since I haven't had to go on very many in the past few years, I need your help in answering these questions.
Oh, man.
I see the look of dubiety on everyone. Okay. Please tell me about a time when you had to use your presentation skills to influence someone's opinion. Alexandra.
Thank you, Madam Table Topic Master. As a matter of fact, I have an interview this Thursday in Chicago, and they are going to fly me to do a presentation of my former company. I guess they want to see my presentation skills, and to answer your questions, I finding that Toastmasters have come very handy on preparing the presentation and rehearsing and trying the whole body of the presentation. To answer your question, I'm thinking that, fingers crossed, pray for me, but I'm thinking that Toastmasters have been very helpful preparing me for this interview on Thursday.
I was asked this question, and I wondered if you could help me answer it, because I'm not sure if I did it correctly. What do you do if you disagree with a coworker? Mike.
Well, with a sense of dubiety, clearly argue with them. No, what you would actually do is try to talk with them, discuss the idea of whatever you're disagreeing about, away from management. I'd see if you can resolve the issue amicably. And then see if you can resolve that way, if not, take it to a higher level. That's how I would do it, using a stair-step method. Start here, work it up, stop there, work it up, continue on up until it gets resolved. That's how I answer it. Thank you.
Please describe a time when you set your sights too low. Stephen.
Madam Table Topics Master, that's an interesting question to toss out there. I don't usually think in terms of too low. Maybe it's simply the fact that you'll have that vision of something very high, but you're only not actually taking the steps to get to that point. There was a time when I was back in school, when I was getting into the choir and the singing back, and then I only had the idea if I was going to get into enjoy it. But then it ended up that my senior year, when we went to audition for the all-county chorus there, I ended up coming out with the top score in the county, which surprised me. I thought I was pretty good. I did not realize I was going to go out at that level. I find it very amusing today that one of the girls at the school there, who ended up just like 1 point behind me, is today singing in opera professionally. So I kind of think, have I missed my calling? But nonetheless, I find my stage time here and now for an opportunity that I can.
That was fun. last two of Lifesavers is reading, which is near and dear to my heart, working for Scholastic. And reading is to the mind what exercise is to the body and prayer is to the soul. We become the books that we read. I truly believe that. And the last is scribing. By getting your thoughts out of your head and putting them in writing, you can gain valuable insights you'd otherwise never see. I highly, again, recommend, if you liked any of what we had to say, take a look at Miracle Mornings and implementing just a little bit of that. You'll see dramatic changes to your life and what you aspire to do and be. It's my turn to pass the buck, actually the gavel, to our general evaluator this morning, Ernst.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you for mentioning the Miracle Morning. There's no dubiety in my decision as to when to wake up in the morning. It's at 4 o'clock. And how do you wake up at 4 o'clock? It's very simple. You tell yourself when you go to bed at night that you're waking up at 4 o'clock. So after time, it becomes, no matter where to go, you sleep at 10 o'clock at night or 11, you wake up at 4. That's how it works. It's very simple. I'm glad to be back here. I was in Europe for 2 weeks. Spent some time with my mother-in-law of 97 years old. She's very mobile. I hope you had a great holiday season, a great Christmas, and a fantastic New Year's Eve event. And hopefully your goals for 2015 are set in place. My goals are to run a half marathon in the first quarter of this year. And somebody asked me why you run a half marathon. I said it's very simple because I can't imagine running it whole marathon. This is the general evaluation portion of the meeting. It's especially important. It's actually the most important part of the meeting. It's especially important for new members and also the visitors. I don't know, do we have any visitors here today? Oh, yes, there. In this part of the evaluation, we're evaluating the whole meeting and also the individual speakers. We are not evaluating the content of the speeches, but we're evaluating whether the presentation was done according to the objectives set in the manual. And now I'm inviting for our first evaluator, Jorge, who is evaluating our speaker number 1, Hadi, Dreams Become True.
Master Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, and especially Hadi this morning, doing Project 10, Inspire Your Audience, always one of the most challenging speeches out of this book, which is why it is at the end, and you're doing it early. And even though you're doing it early and you haven't done some of the other projects in the book, you did a really good job tackling it. You had very confident up here, good appearance. You gave us that presence of professionalism that comes with, you need that kind of a relationship, that engagement with us in order for us to actually listen and take your words seriously. And you did present yourself very well. We were engaged in listening to your motivational words that came from that. You had a very good pace throughout the speech, a good use of pauses, really letting the words sink in and letting us think about what you just said. So you didn't rush through anything, no notes the whole time you were up here. Really good job also of weaving in stories. You did a lot of quotes, not only from historical figures, but then you brought a little more modern movies, more pop culture type references as well. So vast array of different references that you also were able to bring into the speech. Some humorous, some motivational as well, so it broke it up a little bit. I like the 3 steps to the goal achievement or to reaching your goal as a visualization, the faith, and then finally the action step. And Toastmasters and in giving speeches, we all like the rule of 3. So it's convenient that there are also 3 steps in this process. If I have to just start nitpicking some things about what you did, I like that the lectern was moved off, but I feel like when you first came up here, you did kind of plant in place, and you didn't move around the room as much as I would have liked. I think the speech really lent itself very well to kind of moving around and maybe getting in our faces a little bit and really emphasizing some of the points to drive through some of the motivational factors. Also, you did move your hands around. I did like the hand movements. There was a couple of times where you came to this position with both hands were down, and I could see it even, I think you noticed it, it's kind of awkward to stand like that, and it's awkward to see sometimes. I just watch, make sure that you don't ever have 2 hands down here. You just looks a little bit awkward, but you always corrected yourself really fast. I noticed when your hands did go down there, you didn't keep them there for a long time. You then moved it back up into more comfortable speaking positions. I know that when you did have us write down our goal on the notes, there was some silence, so maybe what you could do is, as we're writing down, just keep reiterating what it is that we're doing, just so there's no maybe dead air or silence. I know at one point I even forgot what I was writing down, so maybe it's just helpful just to remind us what it actually is that we're supposed to be writing down at the point, because some people are shuffling through and maybe don't catch that part, that direction. But other than that, great speech, very motivational. Like I said, the good humor, the no notes, good inflection, just a little bit more emphasis on some of those motivational statements, and you're right there. Good job. We look forward to hearing more.
Evaluating speaker number 2, Gus Davis, is nobody other than Stephany B.
Happy New Year. Gus, where's Gus? As usual, Gus took a social issue, controversial issue, one with Dubiety. Some of us did not know about it or know we should be interested in it. I didn't. It seemed far removed, and he brought it to us. Explained the difference in taken or stolen from chosen or selected. And he did that with such a graciousness to a subject that is so ugly and so evil and so disgusting. And thank you for making us aware of that, Gus. The manual, I read this last night when he called me and told me he had this project, and I read that project and I said, oh my gosh, that project calls for all of these things in a full 10 minutes and Q&A, but I'm just going to highlight the things that Gus did well. Of course, he's engaging. Of course, he came out and he told us right off what it was. He made it real. He told us alarming statistics, and it's right here in our area. If nothing else got my attention, that did, because to know that we're number 1 this state or number 2? Number 2 out of 50 states for something so horrible to be going on right under our noses and right in the area. I go to Baldwin Park and have a good time. I didn't know that the people around me were doing these kind of things. I have to look more carefully at these vehicles. Make sure I don't drive one of those. Okay. What I would have liked to have seen is a case study or a personal about one of the victims that you actually talked to and told us that this person was age whatever and that this happened to them, and the resolution of what the effectiveness of your organization and how this can help persons in this situation get extrapolated from it. Just at least one case study. It makes it even more personal and real to us. Very prepared, as always. The handouts contain information, if not the time, about what to do next. There was a call to action, and that's very good, and it's informational. Not only was it informational, but it's something we can do further beyond today's speech. The thing that I liked best about your speech was the interaction with you and law enforcement. Gus! And the barking of the orders, the staccato, the method in which they ride along. I like that. I like cops and ride alongs. You know, I fancy myself being there. So I kind of envy you in that role. Keep it up. Keep up the good work. Keep up the good speeches. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stephany. Great evaluations. You seem to be able to just pour it out onto you. Fantastic. Great job. And at this part of the general evaluation, we are asking our technical table to give a report. And your counter, Lamar Williams, please give your report.
All right, so this is a very hard job for me because I was so engaged through every single speech. I was like, oh, I'm doing something. All right. Hadi, you had a great speech. I really couldn't find anything wrong. Maybe I did something wrong, but I couldn't find anything. Gus, I did catch one and 2 double punches, and that's really all I got. That's good.
Next, I'm calling upon Rich Massa, our grammarian, to give his presentation. Thank you, Rich.
I had a lot of dubiety being a grammarian because I'm horrible at grammar. So I'm just going to go down the list of who said the word, who did not say the word, and some words that I enjoyed, and phrases I heard in the speeches and the table topics. Julia, I did not hear you say the word. I think you said it at the beginning. I'm unsure. Laura, you said the word. Alexandra did not say the word. Mike, you said the word. I like that you used the word amicably, even though you didn't pronounce it correctly. Stephen did not say the word. Hadi. You said. I like that you said you did not use the word. I like that you used the word concoction. That was great. How you quoted Martin Luther King could have been in reverse. You used a quote and then said by Martin Luther King. You could have did that in reverse. Gus said the word. A great phrase you said was very prevalent. One thing I heard that pointed out to me, he said, those guys, you could actually use their title. Ernst, you said the word. Very good. Jorge did not say the word. Stephany said the word. Lamar did not say the word, and I did say the word. And that is my report.
Now, Juliana, for the timeless report, please.
And I just want to throw out, I did say the word.
You
We
did
haven't
say,
met before, that's why.
I'll make a note in my report.
All right. So this was an interesting experience for me. Hadi, you had 10:40, so you're slightly over 40 seconds. Gus, you were at 9:57 for your actual speech, and originally we had allotted 3 minutes for Gus. Oh, there you go. Sorry. Yes. So your question and answers was about 1 minute and 3 seconds. So you were slightly over overall, but I do apologize. Perhaps it was my fault. I was so captivated by your speech, I forgot to hold up the card. I was waiting to hear what happened when you were breaking into the house. I'm like, oh, Fred. Okay, so next. Where are we? Technical table. Okay, no, excuse me. Table topics. Alex, you're at 1 minute. Mike, you're at 36 seconds. Stephany, you're at 1 minute and 15, so just over by 15 seconds. Gus, general evaluator, 1 minute 30. Your evaluation. Excuse me. Who was the first evaluator? Jorge. Okay, yes, I apologize. You're at 3 minutes and 11 seconds. And Stephany, you were at 3:03. And I apologize.
That was somebody.
That was
else.
Steven. I put
We're
Steph.
interchangeable.
I apologize. I shorthanded the STPH. But it's spelled with a V, so I'm wrong. Thank you.
As for the general evaluation of the meeting, I know we are short of time here, we're running a little bit delayed. The Sergeant Arm did a great job opening the meeting, gave us our mission for the Lake Mary Toastmaster Club. Everything was set up, the tables were set up. Room temperature is correct, beautiful lighting, tables were all set up. The agenda was passed out. I know normally we have, Stephany has a designation, she should normally be on the agenda next to her name, right? As DTM.
I mean, I'm not talking today.
But normally, I thought it would be in there, but other than that, the agenda was correct, and Juliet has as well, right? DTM, so we need to put it on here, as far as she has it on there. Distinguished Toastmaster, we should have it here as well. Technically, they did a great job, we moved things along, we were running a little bit short on time here as the things moved along, but overall, we're trying to catch up. I want to thank all the participants for a great meeting, and I've turned it over to our president.
Thank you. I had a little dubiety this morning or not, but I'm happy to be here. I had to be chauffeured. I'm passing out. It starts with the triangle, I want you to take a moment and glance at all the different shapes. The reason for this test, several years ago, my mother taught teachers in the hospital as she was battling breast cancer 15 years ago. She was developing the state program for teachers when they graduate, how to do their curriculum program. So that's my background as to how this test came into my hands. So I met my husband of now 10 years, but when we were about 4 or 5 years, I turned to my mother and I said, I don't know if this is going to work out. We're too different, he's too direct. So she did this simple test that I want you to take. You can write your initials on the far right corner after you do it. Stare at the 4 shapes. This is before the internet really took off, so don't try to Google it, okay? But it is on there. I want you to circle the shape that you're the most attracted to. There's no wrong or right answer. It's an instant thing, and it's going to help you understand how people are best motivated and how they learn and how they are. And that's going to help you a lot because it's helped me a lot. Identify the different learning techniques that we all have. We have a wonderful manual that sets a guideline of what we have to do. So take the piece of paper, if you'd like, at the end, you can turn it in because we're going to use it as a tool to best identify what type of mentor to match you up with so that you're set up for success. The triangle, has everyone taken the test? Let's give you 20 seconds. That's how quick it is. Circle a shape.
Your hair looks nice today.
It's crazy. Curly. All right, by the looks around, I think everyone's picked a shape. There's no wrong or right answer. The triangle, this test was developed for teachers to identify the best learning style for kids that can't communicate. Okay, so the triangle is a dominant personality. It is a driven person, a person that can be very direct. My husband is a triangle, and he can come across as very rude or inconsiderate sometimes, but he doesn't mean to. He's just got to get to the point. He knows what he's doing. So if I'm a teacher and I have a child that's a triangle, I'm going to give them a goal. I'm going to tell them exactly what they need to do, and that's it. They're fine. The square are your information gatherers. A lot of teachers are squares. My office manager is a square. It's someone who takes a lot of notes. They love to get information. They like to source all the facts. They can take too much information, but in order for them to make a decision, they have to really explore and write a lot of information. Okay. The square also, just an example, going on vacation, you can identify the different shapes. When you go on vacation, they kind of have a plan. They know what they're going to do, you know, that kind of thing. They know what time things are going to happen. So the circle are people persons, so they're the ones to like celebrate a party. They have to get other people's opinion to make a decision. They can't make a decision on their own. I'm a circle, and being an interior designer, I can't tell you what to do without getting your input. So it works out that I am a circle. But a circle is, you know, they're the ones who kind of plan the party. They go with the flow, but sometimes you can be in between 2 shapes, but there's always one dominant shape. So the circle is the one, if they're going shopping, they gotta bring the friend, or they gotta send the pictures to the mom, or someone's input when they're doing that. So if you're a child and you're learning, then you work well in groups. All right, the Z is also a great team player as well, as everyone's important, has an important role, but the Z is all over the place. So what that means is that you can give them one task and they're here, and then if you give them another task, they're totally fine if you do that. Versus on the square, you know, if you try to switch tasks on them like that, they want to like finish what they started. You know, they want to get a lot of information when you're giving them what to do. So this is going to help us in matching up your mentor, and also to learn learn different learning styles. Okay, so I wanted to share that with you today. Use it as you want, but it's a very useful tool. Let's talk about being back. Happy New Year. Yay. Everybody, Happy New Year. It's been crazy.
By the way, today is
Christmas in Armenia.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's Orthodox Christmas.
Merry
And
Christmas.
Tomorrow's Christmas in Egypt.
So how do you say that? How do you,
Christmas?
how do you say it in
Yeah, you should know that one.
not sure how to say it? No.
Very good.
Just clear your throat, it'll be okay.
We would say Feliz Dia de los Tres Reyes, because today is Three Kings Day.
Yeah. No, we just
Let's
say Egypt.
briefly hear from Tara, who's our guest, and what she has.
Hello, everyone. I actually did come to these meetings about 4 years ago, so there's a few familiar faces. I'm very happy to be back. Yeah, I did a lot in those years that I've been gone. Actually, I went to Australia on a project, which was very exciting. I had a son, he's 3 now, and moved to California for a year and moved back. So I'm back, and I'm happy to come back to these meetings. I really enjoy them, and I'm going to come every week, so I'll be a familiar face because it seems like you guys have great group dynamic, and I really enjoyed this meeting. So thank you for.
All right. We also have a few awards, some wonderful accomplishments. I'd like to invite Ernst and Diane up here. So Ernst has completed his Competent Communicator Manual, and this is his pin for his accomplishment. Congratulations. And also Diane has completed, I believe this is the first one this year, which is the Advanced Leader Bronze. And last note of business, we have an officers training January 10th at Calvary Assembly, and officers are asked to stay after the meeting so we can touch base and discuss that upcoming meeting. We also have a 50-50 drawing. Did anyone want to add a last minute ticket?
Great.
So he needs 3 tickets.
I'm enjoying all this attention today.
That's gonna burn in here.
Gonna do extra thing?
This month, geez.
I'll let you break them up.
This month, that. Motion for the year, so.
Are you sure you don't want to get anything?
I need 3 more.
You don't want to get anything. I want your money. There we go. Get my golf money back.
1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you.
Yeah.
Tara, I'm going to ask you to draw the winning ticket because you are, because you're our guest. So how much are we going for? How much is in the pot?
We have $9.
$9 so for $4.50. $4.50 because you split the pot. You're gonna pick a number. Okay, she's got 230 07 36. Awesome.
Double my money, look at this.
Perfect. So fold the paper in half and pass it down to either end, whichever one you're closest to. And any other schedule for next week? I don't have it. Who has the form? Okay, so for January 13th, Lori is the Toastmaster, Alex is Speaker 1, Mike Hughes, Speaker 2, Diane, Speaker 3, Table Topics Master Nicole, General Evaluator is Stephany, Gus Davies, Evaluator 1, Martin Bell, Evaluator 2, Stephen, Evaluator 3, All Counter Sam, Grammarian Julia, Timer Rich, and it's good to be back, everyone. Thank you.